Erin sat on the worn couch in the living room of her suburban Austin home. Outside, the Texas sky darkened, but inside was quiet, save for the hum of the AC. It had been a rough day, another client demanding logo revisions, her eyes burning from exhaustion. She reached for her phone when a text from Uncle Mike popped up. "Erin, this'll hurt. Watch it." Her heart skipped. Mike wasn't sentimental. Her fingers trembled as she opened the video. The screen lit up with Mike's diner in San Antonio, wooden tables, the smell of ribs, a buzz of voices. The camera shook, but Jessica's voice cut through, sharp and venomous. She sat in a white tank top, blonde curls glinting under lanterns, a smug smile on her face. "Erin's such a pushover," she said to Tyler, Megan, and Dad. "She pays my bills, cooks my food, while I'm raking in cash, and she thinks I'm broke." Tyler roared with laughter. Megan chimed in, "Jess, you're a genius." Dad just grunted, staring at his plate. Jessica leaned toward the camera, her whisper hitting Erin like a punch. "I sold her old guitar online. She didn't even notice. Total idiot." Tyler and Megan's laughter stabbed her ears. The guitar, Mom's 18th birthday gift with a heart carved on it. Erin thought she'd lost it when Jess moved in 3 years ago. She'd searched for it, while Jess shrugged. "Maybe you tossed it?" Now the truth hit, stealing her breath. Erin gripped the phone, knuckles whitening. Rage and pain choked her, but no tears came, just a cold void. She shut off the video and stared into the dark. Jessica slept next door, back from a party, her bag dumped with a casual, "Clean it if you want." Erin swallowed hard. She wouldn't scream. Not yet. Let Jess think she's still in charge. For now. Morning in Erin's house started with the smell of coffee brewing in the kitchen, a weak shield against the storm in her mind. She hadn't slept. Uncle Mike's video replayed endlessly, every word from Jessica slicing like a blade. She stared out the window at the dusty yard, clutching her mug, when her sister's footsteps echoed behind her. Jessica shuffled in, yawning, in silk pajamas, blonde hair a mess from sleep. "Ugh, work was insane yesterday," she drawled, flopping onto a chair and grabbing the toast Erin had just made. Erin clenched her jaw but forced a smile. "Rough day?" she asked, knowing Jess was lying. "The new $300 sneakers tossed by the door last night said plenty." Jessica nodded, chewing. "You've no idea. Boss hounded me about a presentation." She reached for Erin's coffee, took a sip, and grimaced. "Too bitter. Make more." Erin swallowed her anger and silently started a fresh pot. Inside, she boiled. This arrogance was old news, but after the video, it burned hotter. Jessica pulled out her phone, scrolling social media, and tossed out, "Oh, I took your car again yesterday. Tank's near empty. Fill it if you're going out." Erin froze by the stove. She needed the car for a client meeting today, and Jess didn't even ask. "You could have warned me," she said softly, but Jessica shrugged. "Oh, come on. You're home all day. I needed it more." Her voice was sugary, but her eyes were cold as a snake's. Erin turned to the coffee maker, hiding the tremor in her hands. She remembered Jess accidentally spilling juice on her couch a month ago, laughing, "You'll replace it anyway." Every little thing now painted a picture of deceit. Jessica stood, dumping her dirty plate in the sink. "Clean up, I'm hitting the shower." Erin nodded, but something snapped inside. She was done being a doormat. As Jess hummed in the bathroom, Erin balled her fists. The mask of kindness was cracking, and soon it'd shatter. Erin sat on the porch of her suburban Austin home, staring at the sun-scorched Texas fields. The evening breeze rustled the dry grass, carrying a faint scent of dust and baked earth, while crimson clouds hung over the horizon, mirroring her mood. After Jessica left for work, likely another party with friends, bragging about her hardships over cocktails, the house fell empty, and the silence pressed on her chest like a heavy stone. A mug of cold tea sat on the railing, dripping with condensation, a forgotten book beside it, but Erin touched neither. Her hands trembled with suppressed rage. Uncle Mike's video spun in her mind like a broken record. "I sold her guitar. She didn't even notice. Total idiot. Those words burned like hot coal, and with each memory, her fury grew, mingling with the sting of betrayal she'd denied too long. She pulled out her phone and opened her texts with Jess. The last message, a week old. "Buy me coffee. I'm broke." Erin had sent $20, thinking she was saving Jess from a tough month. Now she saw the lies in every careless "thanks." She recalled Jess accidentally spilling coffee on her laptop 2 years back. The screen flickered and died, forcing Erin into debt for a new one, while Jess giggled. "Oops, I'm so clumsy." She'd believed it then, chalked it up to chance, or the time her favorite turquoise silver earrings, Grandma's gift before she passed, vanished, and Jess swore she hadn't seen them, though Erin later spotted them in her bag amid makeup and keys. She'd swallowed the hurt, convincing herself she was wrong. Then there was the $100 Jess forgot to repay for an urgent phone fix, only to flaunt a new dress on Instagram. It all built a grim picture of deceit that stole her breath. Erin gripped the phone, the screen dimming. She couldn't play blind anymore. Jessica didn't just exploit her kindness, she relished it, a predator toying with prey before the kill. Erin stood, pacing the creaky porch boards, her dark green eyes flashing with resolve through exhaustion. No yelling or crying. That'd be too easy for Jess, too predictable. No, she'd play smarter. She'd text Uncle Mike. I'll make her pay. Open her laptop, find a lawyer for a lease, maybe even check pawn shops. Her guitar might still be out there. Jess would learn her game was up, but not yet. The blow would be quiet, precise, and crushing. Erin breathed in the cool air, a faint, dark smile touching her lips for the first time that day. Erin sat at the kitchen table in her home near Austin, her fingers nervously twisting a napkin's edge. Outside, dusk thickened, tree shadows stretching across the yard like long claws. Jessica came home late, heels clicking on the hardwood, a designer boutique bag dangling from her hand. She tossed it on the couch and headed for the fridge, ignoring Erin. "God, I'm starving," she muttered, grabbing leftover pizza Erin had ordered for herself. Erin pressed her lips tight but held her tongue. Words could wait. They ate in silence, forks clinking against the tension. Jessica chewed, scrolling her phone, then glanced up. "You're quiet today. Client bugging you again?" Erin met her eyes, cold, blue, with a hint of mockery, and took a slow breath. "No," she said, voice steady as a taut wire. "Just thinking about the future. Jess, starting next month, you're paying rent, $1,800 a month." Jessica froze, pizza halfway to her mouth, then burst out laughing, head thrown back. "You're kidding, right? Rent? To me? I'm your sister." Her laugh rang out, but her eyes narrowed, sizing Erin up. Erin didn't flinch. "Sister or not, you've lived here 3 years. Time to pitch in." Jessica dropped the pizza onto her plate, her face twisting with irritation. "Seriously? After all I've been through? You know how hard it's been." She sighed dramatically, but Erin caught the glint of a new ring on her finger, nothing cheap. "Hard?" Erin echoed, her voice chilling. "Sisters don't steal from each other, don't lie about money, don't sell each other's stuff." Jessica paled, her hand jerking toward her phone, but she recovered fast. "What are you even talking about? I'm broke, Erin, you know that," she snapped, her voice quivering with fake hurt. Erin stood, walked to the counter, and pulled out a printed lease the lawyer sent that morning. She slapped it on the table in front of Jessica. "Sign it or move out. You're done playing me." Jessica stared at the paper, lips thinning to a line. "You're insane," she hissed, but fear flickered in her gaze. Erin crossed her arms. "No, Jess, I just woke up." Silence hung like the calm before a lightning strike, and Erin knew the trap had snapped shut. Jessica hadn't grasped how deep she'd sunk, but she would soon. Erin stood by the kitchen counter in her home near Austin, watching Jessica at the table, her face drained of color. Morning sun streamed through the window, glinting off the glossy lease between them. Jessica had gotten it by email overnight, an official notice from the lawyer stamped in black, demanding $1,800 by the first day of the month. She flung her phone down and leapt up, blonde curls bouncing. "You're a psycho!" she yelled, jabbing a finger at Erin. "What? You're officially kicking me out now?" Her voice shook with fury, but panic flashed in her eyes. Erin crossed her arms, her dark green eyes cold as ice. "The psycho's the one who robbed me blind while I fed her," she said softly, each word heavy as stone. Jessica opened her mouth to argue, but Erin cut in. "You sold my guitar, took my earrings, lied about money. I know everything, Jess." Jessica's face contorted. She stumbled back as if struck. You're delusional," she spat, her voice cracking. Erin pulled out her phone, played Uncle Mike's video, and cranked the volume. Jessica's voice filled the kitchen. "Erin's such a pushover. I sold her guitar and she didn't even notice." Tyler and Megan's laughter bounced off the walls. Jessica went paler, fists clenching. "Where'd you get that?" she hissed, but Erin smirked. "Uncle Mike got tired of watching you mock me." Jessica lunged for the phone, but Erin stepped back. "Don't touch it. You can't hide this." Jessica froze, chest heaving. Then she switched gears. Tears welled up. Her voice turned pitiful. "Erin, I didn't mean it. I was joking. You're my sister. Don't do this." She collapsed into a chair, hands over her face, but Erin saw her peek through her fingers, gauging the act. Erin shook her head. "Stop performing, Jess. I gave you a chance. You blew it." Jessica sprang up, tears gone, rage flaring. "You'll regret this," she shouted, grabbing her bag. "I'll call Dad. Tell him you're throwing me out like trash." She stormed off, slamming the door. Erin stood still, anger fading to grim resolve. An hour later, her phone rang. Dad. "Erin, what's going on? Jess is crying. Says you kicked her out." Erin sent him the video without a word. The line went quiet, then a heavy sigh. "God, Erin, I didn't know." Jessica's vileness was laid bare, and there was no turning back. Erin stood by the living room window of her home near Austin, watching a dusty wind swirl leaves across the yard. 3 days had passed since Jessica stormed out, slamming the door with a promise that Erin would regret it. The house felt unnaturally quiet. No clack of heels, no rustle of bags, no fake whining about a hard life. But that morning, Erin found a note taped to the fridge. "Think you've won? I'll come back and wreck your little world. Jess." The handwriting was sharp, pressed hard into the paper like she'd carved every letter. Erin crumpled it and tossed it in the trash, but her heart raced. This wasn't an empty threat. She opened her laptop to distract herself, but instead of work, she checked Jessica's social media. The latest post from yesterday, a party pic. Jess in a sparkly dress, cocktail in hand, grinning with friends. Caption, "Sis thinks she's so smart, soon she'll see who's boss." Likes from Megan and Tyler, fire and smirk emojis. Erin clenched her fists, nails digging into her palms. Jessica wasn't just mad. She was plotting something nasty, and that rattled Erin more than any shouting match. She remembered Jess once, accidentally, posting a private photo of her online, calling it a joke until Erin begged her to take it down. Now she braced for the next hit. The door slammed that evening. Jessica was back. Her hair was a mess, eyes glinting with fury. She dropped her bag and stalked toward Erin on the couch. "You filed an eviction notice on me?" she hissed, voice quaking with rage. Erin looked up, calm and icy. "You left me no choice. Sign the lease or leave." Jessica laughed, a harsh, brittle sound like breaking glass. "You're pathetic. Think this is over? I'll deal with you." She grabbed her phone, typing furiously, muttering, "Dad's already on my side? You'll end up alone, you fool." Erin stood, her voice hard as steel. "Dad saw the video. He knows who you are. Play your games, Jess, but you've lost." Jessica froze, fingers hovering over the screen. She flung the phone onto the couch and stepped closer, face twisting. "You wouldn't dare kick me out. This is my home as much as yours." Erin shook her head. "Number, it's mine. You've got 14 days. Jessica balled her fists, breathing heavy, then backed off, muttering, We'll see who breaks first. Her bedroom door slammed shut, leaving Erin standing, nerves stretched to the limit. Jessica's game rolled on, but Erin was ready for anything. Erin stood at the threshold of her suburban Austin home, watching Jessica load suitcases into an old sedan's trunk. The morning sun blazed, scorching the pavement, sweat dripping down her sister's temples as she hauled her stuff. A week had passed since their last clash, and the eviction notice had run its course. Jessica wasn't yelling anymore. Her face was stone, lips a tight line. She shoved a bag into the back seat and turned to Erin, blue eyes flashing with venom. "Happy now?" she spat, voice hoarse from exhaustion and spite. "Kicked me out like garbage. You're dead to me, Erin." Erin crossed her arms, heart steady though a faint tremor lingered inside. "You've been dead to me since you sold my guitar," she said quietly, firmly. "You stole, lied, played me. You picked this ending, Jess." Jessica snorted, her laugh sharp and bitter. "Oh, keep whining about your stupid guitar. You've always been so weak, clinging to trash." She stepped closer, jabbing a finger at Erin. "I could have stayed if you hadn't pulled your paperwork stunt. You ruined everything." Erin didn't budge, her gaze ice cold. "Stay to keep robbing me? No thanks, Jess. Your time's up." Jessica opened her mouth to snap back, but a pickup's rumble cut her off. Uncle Mike stepped out, gray hair glinting in the sun, holding something wrapped in cloth. He nodded at Erin, then glanced at Jessica. "Finally leaving?" he asked, voice rough as gravel. Jessica sneered. "None of your business, old man." Mike shook his head and handed the bundle to Erin. "Found it at a pawn shop in San Antonio. She sold it for $100. Erin unwrapped it, her guitar, worn fretboard, heart carved on the body. Her throat tightened, but she held back tears. "Thanks, Uncle," she whispered. Jessica rolled her eyes. "Oh, here comes the drama. Keep your junk. I don't care." She slammed the car door and started the engine, but rolled down the window. "You'll regret this, Erin. I won't forget." The car peeled out, kicking up dust. Erin watched until the engine faded. Uncle Mike put a hand on her shoulder. "She's a snake, kid. You did right." Erin nodded, clutching the guitar. "Still hurts, though." Mike sighed. "'Cause she's your sister. But this is her fall, not yours." They walked inside, and Erin sat on the couch, staring at the sunset. Jessica was gone, her crown toppled, and Erin felt free for the first time in years. Bittersweet, but free. That's the whole story, friends. Did you like it? Drop a yes or no in the comments, and let's talk. Who's right? Who's wrong? What would you do in her shoes? Was her choice fair? Hit that like button if it hooked you, and subscribe. It's huge for us, since YouTube's algorithms thrive on your engagement. See you in the next one.